Afternoon everybody, Rich here, back for another video for the Diecast F1 review. And the review today is of the Ferrari F2003-GA from the 2003 F1 season, driven by Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello, and the model is made by Mattel Hot Wheels, and I have to say this is a bit of a lemon. Quick rundown of the car in real life. The arrived late into the 2003 season after a massively dominant 2002 season. The team still used their 2002 car for the first 4 races of the 03 season while they developed this car, and only won, I think, 7 races in its career. It's a bit of a letdown from the previous year. It had a problem with rear tyres and rear tyre problems and suspension problems as well, as Rubens Barrichello found out. Although it was a real looker, it just didn't perform as well. Although it still won the championship, it just didn't perform as well as many had hoped. No 1-2 finishes throughout the year. And like I said, only 7 wins for this car. I'll get my hand out of the way, sorry. Yeah, it's apart from that, bloody good car. Onto the model though, not so good. And I also found one problem. The front wheel is a bit sticky on mine. I don't know what's going on there. You can see it drags a bit, although not too bad. But yeah, the real car was an absolute stunner. It looked futuristic because of the curvy side pods. It was the first car to introduce these side pods, which of course by 2015 now everyone's got it, but by 2006 pretty much, or 2007, it was the norm to have these undercut side pods, although a lot more aggressively looking than they are now on this car here. As you can see, they're sort of curvy, but not as much as you see nowadays, although we do have smaller engines these days. Excuse me. Yeah, onto the model though. It's a bit of a lemon. It's a bit dusty as well because it's been in the cabinet, which hasn't got dust protection for some reason. It's got a bit of an air gap. A few issues I have found with this model. It is, of course, it being Mattel, it's never going to win awards, but first problem I found is the exhaust pipes are missing. You've got the uptakes here, but there's no actual exhausts in there, which is a bit of a shame. On both sides. I think it's a problem all round as well. It's not just mine that has that problem. But yeah, it's of course the Rubens Barrichello version as well. And I think another issue with this model is that he does sit rather high in the car as well. If I turn it that way, you can see his head does stick out the top quite a bit. He's pushing back down a bit more. Either that, it's got a really long neck, but this is one of the issues that Mattel have, that their drivers do sit a bit high in the car. Not to worry. I'm treating this one a bit roughly as well because it's not really a favourite, and it's a bit of a bag of shit really. Just sits in the cabinet and looks a bit of a reject in the many chance models I have in there. And also another issue with this model is the front wing is a bit high as well. I don't know if it's meant to be that high. I know they did raise the height of the front wing in 2001, but I don't think it was meant to be this high. It's about a 3/4 of an inch to an inch gap under there on the model. I don't know what that would be in 1:1 scale. I'd probably be about 3 or 4 feet on that. But you can't really see it at this angle. If I push it down a bit more and sort of get an idea of how high that front wing is. It is near enough, almost level. Well, the top of the front wing is level with the wheel nut nearly. And the bottom of the front wing is about level with the bottom of the wheel rim. But hey ho, never mind. I'm going to zoom out a bit now. But yeah, it's not a superb model. It's not rare. It's not relatively sought after. You can pick them up for pennies on eBay. And it's a pretty short review, I'm afraid. It's not a great car. I have to say that when they released the 2004 car, the F2004, it was, in my opinion, 1,000 times better, although it still has its flaws. If I zoom out again, there is also a elite version of this model as well for the Michael Schumacher collectors, or the Michael Schumacher collection. This is the reworking of this mould with a lot more detail. They put rivets in the bodywork, carbon detailing on the black parts, and on the underside as well, carbon detail. And I can't remember because I've only seen a few pictures of the elite version. I think they did put the exhaust pipes in the end. Bit of a thumbs up in my case, but I'm not forking out money to buy an elite version when I just have the bog standard here already, which is, it's alright. I'll say it is a lemon, but Can't really go wrong there. So you can pick it up for pennies. I don't actually have the box for this one, which is probably why it's so cheap. I paid about £6 for it in 2006, so I ain't missing out much there. But the real car was an absolute lemon. Oh, not a lemon. The real car was a real good-looking car. I would say an absolute lemon. The model is a bit of a lemon. The nose is a bit too high, I think, and the front wing is too high as well. Suspension's fine. The decals are alright as well. The decal on the engine cover tends to flake a bit at the tops, but it's not on mine at the moment. The rear wing decals are fine. The decals around the Vodafone logo on the side pod are a bit iffy now. This one's not too bad, but the one on the other side is a bit flaky. Whether it's actually paint, I don't know, but it's on the side pod it's fine, but on the flange, on the earring and the air scoop, it's a bit flaky. I shouldn't keep touching it like that, but never mind. But overall, it's not a great model. I wouldn't say it's terrible, but yeah, there's nothing there that Mini Champs could have done better. I should review actually the 2004 Sauber Mini Champs done. It's basically the F2003-GA, but with modified body panels on the back. Really, I could make a kit bash of that. Actually, use the Sauber model for a Ferrari model, but I can't be bothered at this moment. I also noticed as well that the underside of the nose is straight, where the nose should dip down a bit more. It's sort of like the 2001 car, but not to that extreme. The nose does dip a bit more, but not as much as that. I will do a review of the 2001 car. I will do a review of the 03, of the 02, 04, 05, 06, all the Ferraris I have eventually. This is only the second Ferrari model that I have reviewed. And this is not one of the best ones. The last one I've done was absolute stunner, the 412T2, but that's a different story. Quick look in the cockpit for the detailing. Oh, a bit too far. A little bit of paint on the steering wheel. All the buttons are painted in, but there's no other dials or anything that you can actually see very well. The windscreen is a bit thick as well. Wing mirrors quite solidly attached as well. They're not going to break off. They actually got quite thick stems to them, so they're not going to fly off. Same with the aerials on the nose as well. Well, that one's a bit wibbly, but the rest of them are quite flexy, so they're not going to snap off. So the T-cab's quite sturdy. These parts, these air scoops on the side, or small wings on the side, they tend to be quite they are quite fragile. They're actually quite stiff on this one, but I do see them on eBay quite a lot without these. They tend to just other people play with them or something, let their kids play with them, they just get lost or broken. Not a big issue, but the red is not too bad either. It's not Ferrari red, of course. I think it's Marlboro red or Rosso red. I don't know what they call it, but it's not Ferrari red anyway. And on the underside we have all the usual gumph. Let's turn it the right way over. Zonk. And we have, you can't read it very well, but 2003 Metallic for China, Ferrari F2003-GA, product under license of Ferrari, S.p.A. and all that crap. And the usual Mattel Hot Wheels there. And also the screw holes for the box that I don't have. But it's not going to increase the value if you have the box for this one. And also that wheel's pissed as well, it's not going round. It's a quality model, I can tell you. Steering wise ain't too bad though, it's quite stiff. But I do have to say that it's quite well made compared to say a Mini Champs model. Mini Champs tend to be a bit more fragile, but I suppose that is because it is a die-cast, a model, a display model, whereas this one sort of focuses more on display model, more toy. But not a big issue there. It also rolls quite nicely as well, but not a big issue there. I'm not going to play with it, I'm not going to roll it along the kitchen floor. I might, but there you go. But yeah, it's not a terrible model, but it's not perfect, or it's not brilliant. And this high front wing really does annoy me. It really is too high for an 03 spec car. I know it raised again. 2005 raised the front wing up increasingly more, but I think this is already at 2005 spec, but never mind. But hey ho, don't mind. But anyway, that's my review, that's my opinion, that's what I got to say about the model. And if you're going to want one, look around on eBay. They're not expensive. Probably pay about £10–15 for a good one in a box. For an elite model, it's probably £30–40. But it's up to you. You know, if you want to spend money on a dodgy model, then by all means. I mean, for God's sake, I bought that '07 McLaren by Mattel, and that is terrible. But yeah, it's one I would say get, but your collection won't miss it if you don't have it. But you know, it's up to you. But anyway, that's my review, and I shall return for another one soon. So bye for now.